Hey guys, and welcome to another video. My name is Pastirmatzis, and today we'll be talking about whether college is important or a waste of time. Before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and hit the like button as well. Helps a lot with the YouTube algorithm, and your support is so very much appreciated. So let's get right into it. Is college important or not? This is a conversation that I have very often with folks from my hometown, especially like people I attended high school with, and a lot of times people reach out to me on Facebook from different Facebook groups and that know that I have a track record in the marketing business, in the marketing world. Some people reach out to me via email. I just received an email from one of our viewers. He asked me the question, hey, look, should I go to college or not? It's a discourse that doesn't get enough attention. It's something that challenges a lot of people. A lot of people come to this crossroads and they don't know basically where to go and what to think. The number one reason why, in my opinion, is because there is a big lack of self-awareness. So basically, when I ask folks, hey, look, do you know what you're gonna do in 5 years? Do you know what you're gonna do in 2 years? Do you know where you wanna be in the next 10 years? Right? Even though that's like a little too far off. People have no idea. People have no idea what they're gonna do in the next few months, in the next month, let alone the next 5 years. And I found it to be a big problem. I remember having a conversation with one of my friends, and I was asking him, do you have the conversation with yourself about what it is that you wanna do and what you wanna be in life? And he was like, having a conversation with myself, what are you talking about, right? Some people find that to be like an awkward concept, like talking to yourself. I find it to be very strange, right? Obviously, because this is something I've been doing for basically most of my life, basically having a conversation with myself, right? And figuring out what's what, what do I want to do, what I find important and what I find valuable, and things like that. People are not self-aware about what they want to do. A way that you can start being self-aware and practicing that, it's a muscle that you have to practice and exercise every single day, is you can start journaling. And I tell people that all the time. You can start journaling. You can start writing things down. And I don't mean taking a pen and paper and just writing your goals, writing your thoughts and stimulating your brain to actually think more, right? And I don't also mean that you take a laptop and start typing. Though that's a form of journaling that you can pursue, the written word has a much bigger effect in my opinion. Taking a pen and paper and actually writing what you think, your concerns, your goals, your thoughts, everything on a notebook, you will see that over time, you will start thinking more and you will start being able to realize what it is that you want a lot more. Because again, if you're not asking yourself the most critical questions about what you're gonna do in life and what you wanna be and all those things, what do you think? Do you think that those ideas will just suddenly fall in your lap? You can live life like that if you want to, but I can tell you it's a very risky path. Things don't usually fall in your lap. You need to sit and reflect and figure out those things for yourself. And again, journaling is one of the ways that you can do this, right? And one of the ways that anybody can do it. I very much advise that you put a block of time in your schedule on a daily basis. And yes, it might be a little awkward at first if you've never done this before, but I guarantee you that over time it will start feeling more natural, it will start feeling more useful, and you will start being able to write things with more intent. What do I mean by this? You're actually writing something with the intent of understanding yourself better. In the beginning, you may only write a sentence, and I don't care about that. Neither should you. The point is getting started. The point is grabbing the pen and paper and start writing. Whatever it is, put it on your calendar, cut the excuses, put it on your schedule on a daily basis and sew up and just write. You will see that over time, over weeks and months, you will start getting better at it. This is where I would start when it comes to self-awareness. If you want to be self-aware in a relatively short period of time, this is where you start. This is not like some form of magic pill that you swallow and suddenly you understand yourself and you gain that type of clarity. It's that you basically start experimenting more with your mind around things that you're more okay with and things that you're not okay with. Basically, you're stimulating your thoughts all the time. What do I want, right? Am I okay with this? Am I not okay with this? You're putting different scenarios in your mind. This is what I find myself doing all the time too. I think that's very useful. I think you should definitely start doing this right away. It's something you can literally do after this video. So make sure to do it. In my case, just to give you an idea, from the age of 12, I always was thinking, hey, look, I want to have a life where I'm financially independent. And by the way, this is a very broad goal. This is by no means something very specific, but this was very, very clear to me. I want to be financially independent. I want to be able to retire my parents. I want to be able to afford any experience on earth without even thinking about it. I want to be able to travel the world. I want to never have to think of money. These were some very, very basic principles that were important to me earlier on. And how I went about it wasn't in a specific order or for any particular reason. So for example, I first started with designing Photoshop and things like this. I just stumbled on it. I got Photoshop and I was designing and I was enjoying it. And I joined some forums and I started basically messaging people and like doing some basic designs for people, logos on banners and so on, and making some money. And I quickly found that, hey, look, first of all, I don't enjoy this that much. And second of all, I'm not going to reach my financial goals if I keep doing this. So I got into web development. Okay, so I started studying HTML and CSS and some PHP. And I started looking into, hey, look, how can I turn a web design into a website? So, I started doing that and I started making some money. Again, after a period of time, I realized, hey, look, this is not what's going to get me to my goals. Neither do I really enjoy it much. So that's when I stumbled into marketing. Basically, I started with email marketing and then I started making some decent money. And then when I decided that email marketing wasn't scalable enough, I just got myself into the major social media platforms and paid advertising on these platforms and never looked back since, right? I had to maneuver around different things and try different things until I figured out what I wanted. But I always had some key principles, some key goals that I wanted to have about how I wanted to structure my life early on. I went out of my way and learned those things on my own accord. Like nobody put me up to this. Nobody forced me or pushed me in that direction. I just went and I did it. I just used the internet for that, right? And let me tell you, I would never go to college so I can learn marketing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I can tell you 10 out of 10 times, people are going to hire me versus somebody that has any degree in any college in marketing. I can guarantee you that. Companies nowadays look for track record versus what degree from what college you finished. Somebody would much rather hire me. I've spent over $10 million just in the last 3.5, 4 years in paid advertising, creating successful companies, very, very profitable, rather than somebody that just came out of college, has no practical experience and just have some theoretical experience. But hey, they have the degree. I think that for things like that, for fields like that, for like marketing, for web development, for web design, for accounting, the university is useless. For the most part, completely useless. So this is information you can tap into on the internet. You can learn by yourself. The main thing that you have to do if you're going at it yourself is making sure that you're disciplined enough to stick to a schedule and actually do it. If we're talking about a specialized position, like a lawyer, a doctor, some sort of engineer, those types of things need the university platform for sure, right? Like you still need that knowledge and you still have to go there and actually be trained by doctors and do practical things on machines or on mummies, for example, right? I remember when my sister was going to the medical university here in Bulgaria. They had this class with mummies and they were checking muscles and doing different things, and I found that to be so strange. But it's very, very important. They have a decent platform for you to actually go and pursue some of the very specialized studies. No debate there. I think that you first need to understand yourself before you can figure out what it is that you want to pursue in college and whether college is going to then be important for what you want to pursue. If you don't know what you're going to be in 5 years, how are you going to know what you're going to go and pursue in college? It's very sad, but I see a lot of people in my age that basically just fall back to what everybody else does, which is, hey, look, we go to college because that's the right thing to do. We go to college because our parents said that that's the right thing to do. That's what's expected of us. It's like the insurance paper that, hey, look, if things go wrong, you can always have that. How many times have you heard that? I find that it's especially sad that in countries like the US, people take massive loans and debt. We're talking about $30,000, $50,000, and hundreds of thousands, so they can pursue something something that they could do anyways without actually paying all this money. I find it to be very, very sad. For example, in marketing, I don't have a marketing degree. I just went online, I networked, I met people, I tried things, trial and error, and I did it. It just took a lot of persistence, consistency, showing up, and taking risks. That's it, right? You don't have to be a business owner. You don't have to open up a business and be a business owner. Neither do you have to become a multimillionaire or a billionaire or something like that one day. All you need to do is, like, for example, being a web developer. Okay, you come online. Like, for example, you go to W3 schools, right? Like, this is just one place where you can go and learn things for free. You start applying code and writing code and doing things and failing a bunch and seeing that things don't work, and then trying other things and so on. Whereas you would be stuck in college trying some of those things just in theory and in some case in practice, but mostly in theory and understanding those things in theory, but not applying it in practice. And I find that to be very, very sad. You're going out there and you're wasting several years, you're wasting a bunch of capital, when in reality you could just be in the comfort of your home, again, just working on being disciplined, on showing up and making sure that you get to start something and get to do it in practice on your computer. I think there's really something to be said about being self-aware and understanding what you want to do, and that's the only way you can approach that conversation. There's no other way you should be asking yourself, is college important? What do you want to do in life? What do you want to be? This is where you should start. Then segue to that, right? Not the other way around. I think a lot of people are very, very uncomfortable with having conversations with themselves, whether it's in writing or whether it's speaking out loud and actually articulating your thoughts. And that's something you need to become better at if you're not already doing it. And most people need to become better at that, just because that's one of the main things that's going to help you understand yourself better and go at your goals with full force, right? That's my suggestion, guys. That's what I think on colleges. Again, to recap, if you're going after something specialized, I think it makes sense. And the networking you can get out of a college, the certain platform it gives you for certain specialized fields, it makes sense. Whereas in other things where the internet is available to you, not so much, or not at all. That's what I would say to you. Start with understanding yourself and go from there. If you disagree, comment down below, or if you agree also, right? Leave a comment, let me know what you think about this. If you need help in this section, basically, hey, look, I don't know where I want to do what I want to do, and you want to discuss this with somebody, you want to talk to somebody, send me an email at jim@pastirmatzis.com. I will include my email in the description below. I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you. And guys, a very, very important thing. I'm trying to hit 100 subscribers as soon as possible. We just started this channel basically from nearly zero not long ago. We're going at it full speed. Subscribing and liking the video would help a lot. I would very, very much appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next video.